Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Manish Shrestha from Haryana School of Business, GJ University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Today we are going to talk on module Presentation Skills from the paper Business Communication. Let's see some of the learning objectives of this module. First is to know about relevance of presentation skills, to understand the key components of a presentation, to know about elements for preparation of a presentation, to know about elements for delivery of an effective presentation. Whether we are a student or a working professional, we have to give presentations. For that, first we have to understand what are the presentation skills. Presentation skills are the set of techniques and skills required successfully to present oral information to others. This understanding is provided by Collins Dictionary. A presentation skills are being used in effective delivery of content to varied audiences. These skills are generally focused on structuring of the matter, designing of slides, body language, and vocal aspects, so that in a presentation skill we have to talk about the content development, we have to talk about how our PowerPoints would look like, how to use body language while presenting, and how to control your vocal cords to be an effective presenter. To know more about presentation and how it is different from public speech, let's have a look on the various characteristics of a presentation. A presentation is relatively informal in nature. So when we compare it with the public speech, presentation is given to internal people, presentation is given to client group, but it is a smaller group and which is considered as an informal group. A presentation also involves query handling, including question answer from the audience. Suppose you are giving a presentation and once you are done with your presentation, audience might raise a question from your presentation and your responsibility is to solve their queries. It involves evaluation of performance. After presentation, it is very important to evaluate your presentation, because how you have performed depends upon the feedback from the audience. A presentation involves a combination of audio and visuals. So there is a liberty in the presentation to use visuals which can enhance the effectiveness of your presentation. A presentation can be delivered while sitting. Generally, public speech is while you are standing, but you can deliver a presentation while sitting in a meeting hall among the audience, and it is very much possible to give a presentation in a group. There are various purposes of a presentation. Among all, let's highlight top 3 purposes of a presentation. A presentation primarily provides information or provides instruction to the audience. Another purpose is to convince the audience about a viewpoint, about any strategy of the organization. And the last one is sometimes a presentation is used to entertain. Now let's have a look how we can use presentation to provide information to the group. For example, a manager wants to give certain instructions. For that purpose, a manager calls the people from the referred group and they provide instructions with the help of a presentation. With this method, they can give instruction to more number of people at the same time. In order to convince also, we use the presentation. For example, a sales presentation falls under this category, where a salesperson tries to convince the potential buyers to place an order after the completion of the presentation. So, convincing is another purpose of a presentation. In order to fulfill the entertainment purpose, a presentation is applicable in relatively more informal situations like celebrating success, promotion parties, during induction or retirement occasions. During these situations, humor is an essential part of the presentation. The first key component of a presentation is topic. A topic is something which serves the purpose of a presentation. As far as topic is concerned, many a times topic is assigned to the presenter. Sometimes presenters are at the liberty of choosing a topic. Whatever the case may be, any presentation it must carries a topic. Second component is a presenter. Presenter can be an individual or people can present in groups. So we can say presenter can be a person or a group. Every presenter is having a responsibility to present on a given topic, so that they are having a given task to perform during the presentation. Third component of a presentation is audience. Audience are the group of people who are attending the presentation. This group is generally smaller in size. If it is too big, it would be more suitable for a public speech. That creates the difference between a presentation and a public speech. So always remember, the group attending a presentation is smaller in size in relation to group attending a public speech. The audience are sometimes interested in attending the presentation, and sometimes they are assigned to attend the presentation. If they are interested, it would be much easier for a presenter to convince them, but if they are assigned, then a presenter has to face some daunting task to convince them. Next component is venue. Venue is the physical place where the presentation has to be delivered. It is generally a room or a hall where the presentation has to be delivered. Another component is audio-visual aids. Audio-visual aids are the supporting aids. Remember, a presentation for a presenter, a PowerPoint or audio-visual aids are not the only thing, but they are supporting aids. They are used to enhance the effectiveness of a presentation. And finally, every presentation must be finished under a time limit, because we understand time is money. So presentation is a time bound activity. Generally, depending upon the circumstances, a presentation can go from 5 minutes to 20 minutes. The purpose must be served during the presentation within the time limit. Pre-presentation preparations points out towards the homework that a presenter has to do before the delivery of a presentation. Preparation done by presenters prior to the presentation remarkably improve their confidence level and eventually their performance during the presentation. Pre-presentation preparations include the following constituents: inspection of venue, get audience profile, prepare presentation, decide audio-visual aids, decide presentation method, and finally rehearsal. Let's have a look on each of the constituent one by one. Inspection of venue includes obtaining prior information about the venue before the presentation. In order to have the best idea about the venue, it is suggested to visit, if possible, the venue prior to the presentation. Otherwise also, you can request for the pictures of the venue where presentation is scheduled. With this effort, a presenter, you will know in advance about the size of the room, seating capacity and arrangements, acoustics, location of windows and doors, and other facilities available like projection, speakers, air conditioning, lighting, etc. It will also help you in deciding about usage of audio-visual aids. The next component under presentation preparation is to get an audience profile. Now, an audience profile is very important for any presenter. It tells the presenter about the people who are attending the presentation. Under audience profile, a presenter can collect information about the demographic background of the audiences. It includes information such as age of the audience, their gender, their social status, their economic status, their work experience. With this kind of information, you can also identify why they are attending your presentation, whether they are assigned audience or they are genuinely interested in your particular presentation. You can also identify whether your audience would be cooperative during the presentation or they are hostile by checking their demographic background. Also, you can know about the present level of their awareness about the topic which is being discussed during the presentation, because if they are very well aware or they are aware at the basic level of the presentation, you should include more in-depth knowledge during your presentation. But if they are not at all aware about the topic, in that case you can start your presentation from the very basic level and you can go to the complication level at a later stage. After having some idea about the venue and the audience, the presenter is now ready to start preparing the presentation. For preparation of presentation, following steps can be followed. First, we have to gather the relevant material, then we have to structure the material, then we have to prepare a PowerPoint template. Let's try to understand each stage one by one. In order to understand gathering the relevant material, let's see what are the main things we have to consider. Once the purpose and objective for the presentation is clear, the next step is to develop the content. For developing the content, it is important to identify the various ideas and sub-ideas that would help the audience in understanding the topic of presentation. After having clarity on main idea and supporting sub-ideas, relevant material has to be collected from various sources. These sources can be printed material in the form of articles in journals, newspapers, chapters in books, published interviews, etc. Or the sources can be through online mode using internet. A search engine can be used to search out the relevant information. For example, search engine Google can be used and advanced search option can be exercised to get the specific search results. While gathering the information, presenter has to ensure that collected information possess something of interest of the audience. The gathered information can be in the form of historical trends, statistical data, pictures or figures, results based on research, a case study, etc. Such collection of information can be converted in the form of brief notes or outline. Preparing outline or notes further enables the presenter in structuring of material at a later stage. Once we are done with gathering the relevant material, we move forward for the next level, that is structuring the material. Although we are having our brief outline of collected material, still it requires realignment and restructuring to suit the requirements of the presentation. Overall, the contents of the presentation can be divided into three main parts, namely introduction, main body, conclusion. The purpose of the introduction is to include all that information which is helpful in introducing the topic and provides the overview of the presentation. This part of the presentation is used to set the tone of presentation. In other words, it creates the first impression. The types of information that can be the part of introduction is objective of presentation, context of presentation, providing an overview of what to expect during the course of presentation, and the takeaway for the audience. Then, the main body of the presentation comprises central thought of the presentation and discusses the main idea at length. Discussion regarding main body also consumes maximum time of the presentation. The type of information that could be the part of main body is definitions that are helping in development of concept, examples, comparisons, statistical information, and the latest trends. And to end the structuring the material part, there is conclusion. Conclusion is the last part of a presentation. The purpose of the conclusion is to reinforce and reiterate that has been discussed in the introduction and the main body. A presenter has to summarize the detail earlier discussed in precise and interesting words. It is essential to thoroughly check various points that will become part of the conclusion. Any undesirable mention or discussion during this part can ruin the whole presentation. An interesting quote can be used to end the presentation. Finally, under preparing presentation, the last step is preparing the PowerPoint template. To know more about PowerPoint templates for a presentation, let's move to the next slide. Here are some guidelines for preparing a PPT. It is very important to understand that PPT is a tool. You should not be too much dependent on a PPT to provide your presentation. Yes, it gives you an advantage. Important to present only one key point, including too many points in a single slide, create a mess out of your slides. It is important to use consistent theme throughout your presentation. A theme might be a color combination of the words which you are writing. It is to avoid light text with the light background and vice versa, dark text with the dark background, because if you use such kind of application, readability of the slide suffers a lot. It is always advisable to use a contrast while preparing your PowerPoint template. A contrast is, if your background is dark, it is better to use light color text, or if your background is light, it is better to use dark color text. See how it works with the help of an example. Light background, light color is not clearly visible. Similarly, at the middle of the picture, we can see dark color is used for the dark background. Again, visibility issues are there. But if we look at the bottom of the picture, that if we use, it has been used like a dark color is being and a light color is being used as words. So visibility improves a lot. Move to other guidelines. It is also said that we should avoid any slide, because by using too much text can complicate the situation. Avoiding too much text, we can clearly explain our points and avoids any kind of confusion in the mind of audience. Let's have a look on an example. A presenter should avoid too much text on a slide. Having too much matter on a slide irritates the audience and reduces their interest in the presentation. To manage this issue, 6x6 rule can be adopted. That is, 6 lines per slide can be used and 6 words per line can be used, not more than that. The problem with using too much text can be seen in the next slide. Now here we can see that writing too much on a single slide can be irritating and confusing, and our interest can be lost by looking at such kind of a slide. Now move to the next guideline. A presenter should limit slides in the range of 10 to 15. Using too many slides can also create boredom among the audience, and using very few slides can also affect the effectiveness of the presentation. Also, using too many graphics in a slide confuses the audience regarding where to focus. It is important to avoid animation in text, although it appeals to the presenter, but it distracts the audience and many a times highly annoying. Use videos sparingly as the audience might feel that presenter is not capable of explaining the content. Also, make sure that your text is readable. Use appropriate font size. A font size in the range of 32 to 24 is acceptable for the main text of a slide. We can see font size related issues, color related issues in the next slide. Also, avoid overuse of different colors in a single slide. A feeling of rainbow-like text generally irritates the audience. All the slides should be properly numbered. Always include any query and thanks slides at the end. If you are using a picture or any data, it is important to mention its source. Let's have a look how using different colors can irritate the viewers. Now if we look at this slide, the first 4 lines of the slide, we can see that if our font size is too small, there would be an readability issue. Similarly, at the latest part of the slide, we can see that different colors are being used to highlight different words. Now, it gives you a rainbow-like feeling, and it is very irritating to read such kind of a slide. So you should avoid using these things. Now we move to the fourth part of pre-presentation preparation, that is deciding on audio-visual aids. While preparing for a presentation, a presenter has to decide about various audio and visual aids to be used during presentation. Audio and visual aids plays an important supportive role during a presentation. Some of the visual aids can be video, chart, slide, flip chart, white or a blackboard. Any audio file, microphone, speaker, etc. are the part of audio aids. It is not necessary that every presenter should use visual aids. But in case you decide to use such aids, avoid its overuse. Try to integrate these aids with oral presentation and use it only at the relevant point of time. The quality of pictures, graphs, videos should be excellent for facilitating better understanding. Overall, the decision is about whether to use a visual aid, which aid to use, and how much to use. The next part is deciding presentation method. After organizing the information and structuring your matter, it is time to decide on the method of presentation. Broadly, any of the following 3 methods can be adopted for presentation. First is presenting extempore. This is one of the most accepted presenting method for a presentation. It requires division of total matter in parts followed by preparation of notes and cards to aid the presenter while presenting and clarity of thoughts in presenter's mind. Although much effort is required for this kind of presentation, but during presentation, audience feels that the presenter is speaking naturally and without any preparation. The second method is memorizing. It is considered as the toughest method for a presentation. In this method, a presenter tries to memorize the complete matter that needs to be presented. It requires a special ability to memorize the matter to such a large extent. The drawback of this method is, in case you forget a word or two, you get confused initially and nervous eventually. The third method is reading. Reading the matter of presentation is generally adopted in a highly formalized situation where error of a single word can prove to be disastrous. Most of the presenters make a mistake by reading in monotone, resulting into boredom for listeners. Reading method can be adopted but not for the complete presentation. A presenter can read some of the matter during the whole presentation. Once you are done with all the preparations regarding your presentation, it is the time for practice. And the rule is practice, practice, and more practice. Practice not only reduces your anxiety during the presentation, it also gives you confidence. Remember, only practice makes a man perfect. So, more you practice for your presentation, better are the chances that you will perform at the presentation. After practicing your presentation many times, you are almost ready to deliver an effective presentation. Rehearsal provides you much needed confidence at the day of presentation. A presenter has to further take care of few issues to improve the performance on the day of presentation. These issues are maintaining punctuality, managing vocal components, managing non-verbal components, handling queries, and finally, evaluation. Punctuality is very important on the part of a presenter. The presenter must reach to the venue on or before time. This would help in getting familiar with the actual setting of the venue and to overcome the nervousness. It also makes a good first impression on the audience, and you can also check the arrangements at the venue. Under managing vocal components, a presenter must take care of few areas like pitch, rate, volume, quality, pause. A pitch is considered as tone of sounds, and a presenter should avoid speaking in monotone and should vary the pitch while presenting. Rate denotes the speed at which a presenter is speaking. Generally, 150 words spoken per minute are acceptable to audience, and these are easily understandable. Slower than that is considered as a dull speaker. Volume refers to the power of sound. It decides whether the presenter is audible or not. A presenter needs to adjust the volume considering the size of audience, room size, noise level, availability of instruments, and the venue. Quality is considered as characteristic tone of voice of the presenter. Some people sound dusky, some sound shrill, some sound pleasant. Overall, a presenter can do little about the sound quality, but with practice, yes, we can improve to some extent. A pause is a gap between speaking two words or sentences. In writing, pauses are guided by punctuations. While speaking, a presenter must give certain pauses at appropriate times to improve the understandability of the message. Next is managing non-verbal components. At the time of presentation, non-verbal cues plays an important role. Audiences generally judge a presenter on the basis of posture, gesture, appearance, and the eye contact. There are few suggestions to manage your non-verbal components. Always try to make an eye contact with your audience. Do not move too much during the presentation as it can act as a distraction to the audience. Always work on your appearance, what you are wearing, focus on your attire. Use appropriate gestures which are having common understanding with the audience. Always create a good posture while presenting. Next part is handling queries. Question answer session is one of the most important part of any presentation. This is the time when there is more interaction between the presenter and the audience. This session is also known as query handling session. In this session, audience raise their doubts about the content of the presentation and seek solution or clarification from the presenter. One strategy is to anticipate questions in advance and prepare their answers. Always be patient while listening to the questions by the audience. While responding to any query, it is always advisable to address all the audience, not a single person. Similarly, if you are not able to answer a particular query, it is good to admit your inability to answer. Do not lie about any of the query. Or you can request an audience to answer it. The final part is evaluation. The task of a presenter is not over by the end of presentation. It is always advisable to get a feedback of your performance. A good feedback not only tells you about loose areas in your presentation, but also acts as a yardstick for the next presentation. For conducting the evaluation of the presentation, an evaluation sheet can be created and used. A sample format of evaluation sheet is as follows. When we look at this evaluation sheet, there are few points mentioned like clarity of presentation, voice pitch speed, usage of visual aids, eye contact, interaction with audience, content arrangement, general awareness about the topic, appearance. Audience can be requested to rate the presenter on these given criteria. You can generate a scale of 1 to 5 where 1 is considered as poor and 5 is excellent. And finally, you can take a total to get an idea about your performance during the presentation. You should always leave a column for remarks for any kind of suggestion by the audience to improve your performance during the presentation. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. We know that delivering effective presentation is a skill and we can acquire it. For becoming an effective presenter, you have to practice and practice a lot. It is the success mantra for any good presentation. A presentation is a combination of oral delivery, audiovisual aids, and body language. So while preparing for a presentation, you have to work on all these aspects. You have to manage your vocal components, you have to manage your non-verbal components like appearance, gestures, postures, and eye contact. If we are showing all these aspects in a well manner, we'll look as a good presenter. For a good presentation, one should get expertise in creating PowerPoint templates, popularly known as PPTs. We must go through all the guidelines given under this module to create a good PowerPoint template. We should be careful about your theme. We should be careful about the font size we are using, color combinations we are using, the type of pictures we are using, the way we are writing our points. All has to be taken care of while preparing a PowerPoint. Do not forget to evaluate your presentation because a feedback is very important to create better presentations. Once you are done with the presentation, always obtain a feedback from the audience. They are your true friends. They will help you out in improving your future presentations and make you a good presenter. Thank you.